told you are a man who doesn't get a lot of sleep, maximum 2 or 3 hours a night. So my question to you is, of your waking hours, how many of them are you spent dealing with regulatory issues right now?
Oh, it's certainly going up a lot. I mean, part of this is that we're applying for licenses in a number of jurisdictions right now. And part of this is the landscape is changing. We have to stay on top of that. We have to keep adapting. We have to be responsive everywhere we can. So, I think it's probably, a good solid 5 hours a day or so that I'm spending on, everything from, regulation to licensing, and everything in between.
So let's talk more about the regulatory landscape from here, because clearly the regulators are turning a lot more muscular in terms of how they're thinking about the crypto community, whether it's on the KYC AML front. There was even a passage in the infrastructure bill, the draft infrastructure bill of the weekend, talking specifically about KYC and AML in the crypto space, but then also on the securities offering side. And on the latter point, I wonder how you think about the headwinds to your business, given a lot of what you offer is actually in the derivative space.
Yeah, it's a really good question. And, part of the answer is, look, it's different in every jurisdiction. And we try to do everything we can to be responsive and receptive to what, each to what everyone says. And so, you look at announcements from the FCA in the UK, and we sort of restricted leverage to retail traders in that jurisdiction. There's a lot of one-off things like that. We're looking to get licensed in a number of jurisdictions for those products, and simultaneously, a lot of regulators, frankly, are currently going through the process of trying to figure out what their regulatory regime for crypto derivatives is going to be. Some of them have regular derivatives regimes, some of them have crypto regimes. Many of them don't haven't clarified how those combine together. It's something that we expect to see a lot more work on over the next 3 to 5 years. And we want to be a piece of that, working with regulators to build out those regimes. And then there are some jurisdictions where there do exist some frameworks that we are looking at for them.
Well, one cryptocurrency that is very much caught in the crosswinds of regulation right now is Tether. And you still quote Tether on FTX, this despite an ongoing lack of transparency and a lack of full disclosure, which is what the investment community really wants to see out of them. What gives you confidence to continue quoting or providing quotes in Tether when there's so much scrutiny on this cryptocurrency right now?
So, one thing I'd say is, like, Bitcoin, there's no question, he's definitely not backed by dollars, and intentionally not, because that's not what it is. But sort of the point there is, like, Tether is a cryptocurrency that can be traded on FTX like any other cryptocurrency. It's not traded as exactly a dollar on FTX. It's a free floating crypto that people, the market can price it whatever it will, and people can buy it, they can sell it, they can trade it. There's an open order book for it. It's not crucially part of our USD basket, which means that it's not, the exchange doesn't treat it as necessarily one-to-one with the US dollar. That's for, the market and users to determine. And so we just see it as a market-driven activity, and we're not, as an exchange, taking a stance on it. I will say that, having interacted with Tether and their team a bunch, there's certainly smoke. I don't think that there's a ton of fire beyond the smoke. That's not to say it's perfect, because it's definitely not. And anything could happen. And I'm not, I can't look into their book, so I don't have perfect knowledge here. But I think a lot of the claims about Tether do a really legitimate job at questioning whether it should be priced, a couple percent away from a dollar. But I think we've really failed to see reports that give real reason to think that it should be priced, massively away from a dollar. And that's sort of how crypto markets have historically, priced it, and that's how it's sort of creation redemption liquidity has worked as well.